folks, so I trust that you guys enjoy the stop here at the Atlantis. Now we're going to head back over the bridge, and we are going by the Queen Staircase. That is also where one of our forts is located, and that is also where they have a craft market. Here on your left in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, coming up, that is the local police station that they have here on the island. They also have an ambulance that is stationary over here, and they have a fire engine that is stationary over here in case of emergency. Underneath this bridge is our fish, fruit, and vegetable market. We also have some more boats that takes food and building supplies to the other islands in the Bahamas. If you look to your right, you would be able to see there's a truck offloading supplies now, and then you'll see some boats with some windows and mattress and doors on it. They are Haitian boats. So they come to the Bahamas and they take supplies back to Haiti from the Haitians that live here in the Bahamas, because we have a large Haitian population that lives here in the Bahamas, and then you'll also be able to see some of our fishing boats out there. So from Monday to Friday, out here is extremely busy, with folks who are either sending supplies back to their families, or folks who are sending supplies back to the different businesses that they have on the island. Have you guys ever eaten tongue before? Yeah. Yes? Alright. Okay, so for those folks who have never eaten tongue before, you need to try some when we get up at the distillery. They have something that is called conch fritters. Some folks call it hush puppies, but you know, I've never seen hush puppies before, so I can't debate that. Now here on your right, ladies and gentlemen, we have some yellow flower plant here to the right, and also we have some to the left. They are called the yellow elder. That is the national flower of the Bahamas. We also have some other flower plant on the left. These colorful ones, these are called bougainvillea. So you have a lot of people that have them planted around the edge of their property because they grow close together like a fence. So if you have nosy neighbors, you don't want them to look on your property, then you can plant them. Or if you have people in your neighborhood with sticky fingers. This street that leads straight across, that is called Maki Street. And Maki is the local Bahamian Suriname in the Bahamas. That is also where they have a lot of wholesale companies, groceries, building supplies, automotive stores, all of that is located in that area. That is also where they have the headquarters for the Salvation Army. So this street here, ladies and gentlemen, this is called Shirley Street. And this is one of our one-way streets here on the island. Here to your right, the yellow and white building on the right, that is the Ministry of Education, Scholarship and Loan Division. And then on the left, we have Ebenezer Methodist Church. That church is 220 years old. That church was built in 1802. You'll notice they have a cemetery to the front of the church. They also have a cemetery to the back of the church. And those folks who are buried here are either members of Ebenezer Methodist Church or members of the Methodist congregation here on the island. This is their Christian Education Center here to the left. You also notice the name Sir Jewett Knowles Auditorium. Sir Jewett was the first Bahamian to ever win an Olympic medal in sailing. And that was in Tokyo, Japan, and that was in 1964. This is Auto Mall. These folks are the dealers for the BMW, the Suzuki, the Hyundai, the Toyota, the Mini Coupe, and the Lexus. And then here on the right, we have St. Matthew's Episcopal Church. This church was built in 1801. It is built out of coral and limestone. It has never been painted before. This is the original color of this church. The only renovation they did to this church was the roof of the church and on the inside. But they still worship here in this church today. You'll notice some of the graves are also deteriorating because a lot of these was here from the 1800s. And then right next to them, we have the government cemetery. Now the government cemetery is for folks who cannot afford to go to the private cemeteries, or if their families, if their church do not have cemeteries. This is the Jewish cemetery here to the right. And then we have Sacred Heart Roman Catholic Church. They have a cemetery on their church grounds also. Now we have two private cemeteries here. One is called Lakeview Memorial Garden. I don't know if you guys ever heard about Anna Nicole Smith. That's where Anna Nicole Smith and her son is buried, in Lakeview Memorial Garden. And we have one that is called Woodlawn Garden. Now ladies and gentlemen, here on your left, this is another section of Auto Mall. And this is where they have the Toyotas. Now most of these local dealerships are owned by local behemoths who pool their resources together. So these are not in one individual property. And to the left we have the Haitian Embassy. Also to the right we have the Nassau Motor Company. And these folks are the dealers for the Honda and the Chevrolet. And so this area, ladies and gentlemen, this is commercial. We have the private health care here. That's called Doctors Hospital. That's owned by a group of Bahamian doctors. And at the time it was owned by a doctor by the name of Dr. Maya Nozetta Rasa. And so the doctors that went away to school in Canada, England, the United States, and Jamaica, when they come back, they used to work out of that hospital. And after they passed away, they got together and they purchased it. Now here we have some doctors' offices located in this area also. So most of the doctors that work at that hospital, most of them are contracted by that hospital. Because a lot of them, they have their own private practice. And a lot of them, they work out of the public hospital, which is called the Princess Margaret Hospital. And it used to be called the General Hospital. Now coming up here on your right, ladies and gentlemen, is our newspaper company called the Tribune. This was established in 1903. And behind the Tribune newspaper company, that pink and white building, that is the building for adolescents, for young girls who get pregnant. That is someplace for them to go tell them and have their baby. Over to your left, that is Grosvenor Close. That is where they have doctor's office, physiotherapy office. You can get your mammogram, you can get your scan. They have the Pan American Health Organization. They also have the School of Nursing that is a part of the University of the Bahamas. This is the public hospital called the Princess Margaret Hospital. And this is where the local folks go who cannot afford to go to the private hospital. This is the critical care block of the hospital. And this is where they have additional intensive care units and operating theater here in this section. And then we have the main entrance of the hospital. Over to your right, you can see this big silk cotton tree here to the right. You can see this tree is very massive. And then in front of us, this is a tambourine tree. Now tambourines, they're edible. Sometimes they can be sweet, sometimes they can be sour. That is also the national switch of the Bahamas. And if you look to your right, you can see your cruise ship from here. So this here is called Elizabeth Avenue. And as you can see, they cut this straight out of the rocks. So also on your left, that is where they are putting the accident and emergency section of the hospital. Now in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, is the Queen Staircase. Now this consists of 66 steps. It took 600 slaves to carve that out with just a chisel and a hammer, and it took them 16 years. That was also a passageway for them to get from the fort into Nassau in case a war break out on the fort, right up ahead where those folks are walking. And you guys want to walk those steps? Who said yes?
Yes.